Is it easier for you to connect with new people? Hello everyone and welcome back to ɪnˈdevə. Today we are talking about how to connect with new people and a few things to keep in your back pocket in case you come across meeting someone new and you are lost and you don't know how to proceed with getting that friendship off the ground. Okay, so let's start with a scenario that you have met this person for the very first time. They are not in the friendship pyramid at all. They're not even acquainted with them. You have just looked at this person for the first time. To give you a little bit of history or just general knowledge acquainted with this, according to the survey that I sent out, almost 50% of people said that most of the time it is easier for them to connect with new people. 10% said that all the time it is easier for them to connect with new people. But almost 40% said either sometimes it is hard for them to connect with new people or almost all the time it is hard for them to connect with new people. So I thought I would do a little video about 3 questions or topic introduction connectors that you can just keep in the back of your mind for the next time you meet a person and you're having trouble connecting with them. Number 1, this is so obvious, their name. Ask them their name. Sometimes you will have a launching off point from just their name. Oh, my cousin's name is whatever, or something. Like, you don't have to be cheesy about it, but just flow freely, okay? And I know that's kind of hard to say to introverts because you're like, flow freely. I don't flow freely at all. I can't flow at all. That's why I'm having trouble. I am by nature an extrovert. But there are those moments that I just trip up and I stumble and I'm like, who am I? I can't even string a sentence together. And I sound so dumb, but in those moments I have to force myself to relax, because if I don't, then I'll just be a bumbling idiot to that person probably for the rest of the time, because first impressions matter that much. Of course, okay, so number 1, ask your name. Number 1A, can I drop a sub note in here? Remember their name. I am horrendous about that. I am so focused on keeping the conversation going and flowing that I hear their name and it goes in one ear, right out the other. Or if it even made it in the ear because I couldn't understand what they were saying. Storytime summer camp 2012, I met a girl. Never saw her before. She was alone, so I went up, shook her hand and said, "Hi, what's your name?" And I could not understand what she was saying. I asked her twice, could not understand at all, and so I just said, "Nice to meet you." No clue. For like 3 years, I had no idea what her name was. Anyways, that's number 1. Number 2, ask them where they're from. Sometimes you will have a connection based off of when asking where you're from. Oh, I'm from Schenectady, New York. Oh, Schenectady, that's an interesting name. Do you know anything about where it came from? Oh, I'm from Orlando. Oh, Disney World. Oh yeah, I love Disney World. You know, my aunt lives in Florida, actually in Orlando. Anything that keeps that conversation moving and shaking. And the other person is probably trying to keep the conversation going too, and so you both are putting in a little bit of effort and it'll make it not as awkward in the long run. But ask your name, ask where they're from. You got 2 connector points right there. Number 3, if they look to be old enough to have a job or to go to school, ask them, so like, what do you do? Do you work? Do you go to school? And there's your 3rd connector point. Oh, I work at an elementary school. No way, I do too. I'm a librarian. How interesting is that? Or it could be something totally off the wall that you have no idea. Oh, I'm an equipment manager for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are you really? Tell me about that. That sounds super interesting. So I hope that's helpful. 3 things to keep in the back of your mind, keep in your back pocket for when you have a conversation starter. Hopefully that'll give you a chance to connect with that new person. Like I said, the other person should be trying to make an effort to connect with you as well. And if they're not, I think you have your answer about where that friendship is going. From the beginning, I said friendship is a 2-way street, effort on both sides of the street. So if that person is just saying, "My name is Mary, I'm from Kansas, I go to school," and they don't help you at all, well, it was nice to meet you, Mary, and then move on. If it looks like someone is having trouble making a connection but they're trying, but they just don't know how to do it, or they're so nervous or something, obviously don't just ditch them. Make a little bit of effort, keep going with them. Another thing about that girl who I couldn't understand her name, I also asked her where she was from, and I had no idea what she was saying then either. No speech impediment, I just couldn't understand her. She was like very soft spoken, but is kind of running together a little bit. And so not only did I not know her name, I did not know where she was from. Turns out she lived in my hometown and we went to church together. So that happened to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this content, please like this video. If you have not already, please subscribe. It means so much to me to see that thumbs up, to see that new subscriber notification pop up. If you have questions for me, please comment them down below. I have a ton of content laid out and I want to help as many people as I can, but if you have something that is specific to you, I'd be happy to interrupt the schedule and drop a new video about your question or your comment. Don't forget to follow ɪnˈdevə on Instagram. You can also DM questions there. We've got new stuff every week. Don't forget, life is hard, but it's a lot easier when you're doing it with the right people. Friendship is a journey, it's an endeavor, and I'll see you next time on ɪnˈdevə.